Now we will discuss on the Factories Act 1948. Let us see an introduction of this Factory Act 1881 first of all. And the first Indian Factory Act was passed in 1881 during the tenure of Lord Ripon. Even though the first Factory Act 1881 was passed, later a few amendments came and it came as today's 1948 Act. So the first Indian Factory Act was passed in 1881 during the tenure of Lord Ripon, and there was a social reformer called S.S. Bengali and labor leader. He was the labor leader and a social reformer too, and who played a key role in the passage of the first Indian Factories Act in 1881. He was the leader who reformed socially all the things in the factory, like the regarding the regulations of Factories Act, etc. And he came up with the first Indian Factories Act in 1881. In 1875, a Bengali led the first labor agitation in India, which focused on the plight of workers, especially women and children. And this resulted in getting a bill referred to the Indian legislature in 1879. And the inadequacy of this 1881 Act led to the continued agitation by workers under the leadership of Bengali for its amendment. And then in 1890, a factory labor commission was appointed by the Indian government to again review the position and make suitable recommendations. Finally, the Indian Factories Act 1891 was passed and came into force. And this act was then amended later in few amendments, that is in 1911, 1922, 1934, 1948, 1976 and 1987. The Factories Act exclusive amendment was in 1948. And now the Factories Act 1948 came up and it was passed by the Constituent Assembly on August 28, 1948. It was passed in August 28, 1948. And the Factories Act is a social welfare legislation. It is called a social welfare legislation since it is for its aim is for the welfare of the workers in a factory. Its main object is to protect and safeguard the interest of workmen employed in the industrial establishments, and hence various provisions relating to health, safety and welfare of the workmen are enshrined in this Act. Now, what is the scheme of this Act? The Factories Act 1948 consists of 120 sections, 12 chapters and 3 schedules. This 120 section is divided into 12 different chapters and it contains 3 schedules. Now, chapter 1 is containing sections 1 to 7b, deals with preliminary aspects, that is title, extent, applications, definitions, etc. Now, the chapter 2 containing sections 8 to 10 lays down the provisions relating to inspecting of the staff. Now, chapter 3 containing sections 11 to 20 lays down the provisions relating to health of workmen employed in the industrial establishments. Health oriented, chapter 3, 11 to 20 sections. Now, chapter 4 contains sections 21 to 41 and it deals with special provisions relating to safety of the workmen.